Wintergirls by Laurie, Halse Anderson. The Pact. I took the knife out of my pocket and cut my palm, just a little. I swear to be the skinniest girl in school, skinnier than you. Cassie's eyes got big as the blood pooled in my hand. She grabbed the knife and slashed her palm. I bet I'll be skinnier than you. No, don't make it a bet. Let's be the skinniest together. Okay, but I'll be skinnier. 1. She tells me the words dribbling out the cranberry muffin crumbs. Commas dunked in her coffee. She tells me in 4 sentences, no 5. I can't let me hear this. It's too late. The facts sneak in and stab me when she gets to the worst part. Body found in a motel room alone. My walls go up and the doors lock. I nod like I'm listening, like we're communicating, and she never knows the difference. It's not nice when girls die. 2. We didn't want you hearing it at school or on the news, Jennifer crams the last hunk of muffin into her mouth. Are you sure you're okay? I open the dishwasher and lean into the cloud of steam that floats out of it. I wish I could crawl in and curl up to be between a bowl and a plate. My stepmother, Jennifer, could lock the door, twist the dial to scald and press on. The steam freezes when it touches my face. I'm fine, I lie. She reaches for the box of oatmeal raisin cookies on the table. This must feel awful. She rips the cardboard ribbon. Worse than awful. Can you get me a clean container? I take a clear plastic box lid out of the cupboard and hand it across the island to her. Where's Dad? He has a tenure meeting. Who told you about Cassie? She crumbles the edges of the cookies before she puts them in the box to make it look like she baked instead of bought. Your mother called late last night with the news. She wants you to see Dr. Parker right away instead of waiting for your next appointment. What do you think? I ask. It's a good idea, she says. I'll see if I could fit you in this afternoon. Don't bother. I pull out the top rack of the dishwasher. The glass vibrates with little screams when I touch them. If I pick them up, they'll shatter. There's no point. She pauses in mid-crumble. Cassie was your best friend. Not anymore. I'll see Dr. Parker next week like I'm supposed to. I guess it's your decision. Will you promise me you'll call your mom and talk to her about it? Promise. Jennifer looks at the clock on the microwave and shouts, Emma, 4 minutes. My stepsister, Emma, doesn't answer. She's in the family room, hypnotized by the television and a bowl of blue cereal. Jennifer nibbles a cookie. I hate to speak ill of the dead, but I'm glad you didn't hang out with her anymore. I push the top back rack in and pull out the bottom. Why? Cassie was a mess. She could have taken you down with her. I reach for the steak knife hiding in the nest of spoons. The black handle is warm. As I pull it free, the blade slices the air, dividing the kitchen into slivers. There's Jennifer, packing store-bought cookies in a plastic tub for her daughter's class. There's Dad's empty chair and pretending that he has no choice about these early meetings. There's the shadow of my mother, who prefers phone because face-to-face takes too much time and usually ends in screaming. Here stands a girl clutching a knife. There's a grease on stove, blood in the air, and angry words piled in the corners. We are trained not to see it, not to see any of it. Body found in a motel room alone. Someone just ripped off my eyelids. Thank God you're stronger than she was. Jennifer drains her coffee mug and wipes the crumbs from the corners of her mouth. The knife slides into the butcher block with a whisper. Yeah, I reach for a plate, scrubbed free of blood and gristle, and weighs 10 pounds. She snaps the lid on the cookie box. I have a late settlement appointment. Can you take Emma to soccer practice? It starts at 5. Which field? Richland Park. Out past the mall. Here, she hands a heavy mug to me, her lipstick a blood crescent on the rim. I set it on the counter, unload plates one at a time, arms shaking. Emma comes into the kitchen and sets her cereal bowl, half filled with sky-colored milk, next to the sink. Did you remember the cookies? She asks her mother. Jennifer shakes the plastic container. We're late, honey. Get your stuff. Emma trudges towards the backpack, her sneaker laces flopping. She should still be sleeping, but my father's wife drives her to the school early, 4 mornings a week for violin lessons and conversational French. 3rd grade is not too young for enrichment, you know. Jennifer stands up. The fabric of her skirt is pulled so tight over her thighs the pockets gape open. She tries to smooth out the wrinkles. Don't let Emma con you into buying her chips before practice. If she's hungry, she can have a fruit cup. Should I stick around and drive her home? She shakes her head. The Grants will do it. She takes her coat off the back of the chair and puts her arms in the sleeves and starts to button up. Why don't you have one of the muffins? I bought oranges yesterday, or you could have toast or frozen waffles. Because I can't let myself want them. Because I don't need a muffin. 410. I don't want an orange, 75, or toast, 87, and waffles, 180. Make me gag. I point to the empty bowl on the counter next to the huddle of pill bottles and the blueberry drizzle pops box. I'm having cereal. Her eyes dart to the cabinet where she has taped my meal plan. It came with the discharge papers when I moved in 6 months ago. I took it down 3 months later on my 18th birthday. That's too small to be a full serving, she says carefully. I could eat the entire box. I probably won't even fill the bowl. My stomach's upset. She opens her mouth again, hesitates. A sour puff of coffee-stained morning breath blows across the still kitchen and splashes into me. Don't say it. Don't say it. Trust, Leah, she says it. That's the issue, especially now. We don't want... If I weren't so tired, I'd shove trust and issue down the garbage disposal and let it run all day. If I weren't so tired all day, I pull a bigger bowl out of the dishwasher and put it on the counter. I am fine, okay? She blinks twice and finishes buttoning her coat. Okay, I understand. Tie your sneakers, Emma, and get in the car. Emma yawns. Hang on, I bend down and tie Emma's laces. Double knotted, I look up. I can't keep doing this, you're way too old. She grins and kisses my forehead. You can't, yes you can, silly. As I stand up, Jennifer takes 2 awkward steps towards me. I wait. She is pale, round moth, dusted in eggshell foundation, armed for the day in her blinkers briefcase. Purse and remote starter for the leased SUV. She flutters, nervous. I wait. This is where we should hug or kiss or pretend to. She ties a belt around her middle. Look, just keep moving today, okay? Try not to think about things too much. Right. Say goodbye to your sister, Emma, Jennifer prompts. Bye, Leah. Emma waves and gives me a small berry dazzle smile. The cereal is really good. You can finish the box if you want. 3. I pour too much cereal, 150, in the bowl. Splash on the 2% milk, 125. Breakfast is a thermo-important meal of the day. Breakfast will make me champion. When I was a real girl, with 2 parents and 1 house and no blades flashing, breakfast was granola topped with fresh strawberries. Always eaten reading a book propped on the fruit bowl. At Cassie's house, we'd eat waffles with thin syrup that came from maple trees, not the fake corn syrup stuff, and we'd read the funny pages. Now I can't go there. I won't think. I won't look. I won't pollute my insides with blue drizzleberry pops or muffins or scratchy shards of toast. Either. Yesterday's dirt and mistakes have moved through me. I am shiny and pink inside, clean. Empty is good. Empty is strong. But I have to drive. I drove last year's windows down, music cranked, first Saturday in October, flying to the SATs. I drove so Cassie could put the top coat on her nails. We were secret sisters with a plan for world domination, potential bubbling around us like champagne. Cassie laughed, I laughed, we were perfection. Did I eat breakfast? Of course not. Did I eat dinner the night before, or lunch, or anything? The car in front of us braked as the traffic light turned yellow, then red. My flip-flop hovered above the pedal. My edges blurred. Black squiggly tingles curled up my spine and wrapped around my eyes like a silk scarf. The car in front of us disappeared, the steering wheel, the dashboard vanished. There was no Cassie, no traffic light. How was I supposed to stop this thing? Cassie screamed in slow motion. Marshmallow air explosion bag. When I woke up, the EMT person and a cop were frowning. The driver whose car I smashed into was screaming into his cell phone. My blood pressure was that of a cold snake. My heart was tired. My lungs wanted a nap. They stuck me with a needle, inflated me like a state fair balloon, and shipped me off to a hospital with steel-eyed nurses who wrote down every bad number. In pen. Busted me. Mom and Dad rushed in side by side for a change, happy that I was not dead. A nurse handed a chart to my mother. She read through and explained that my disaster to my father, and that they fought in a mudslide of argument that spewed across the antiseptic sheets and out into the hall. I was stressed, overscheduled, manic, no, depressed, no, in need of attention, no, in need of discipline, in need of rest, in need, your fault. They branded their war on this tiny skin bag of a girl. Phone calls were made. My parents force-marched me into the hell on the hill new seasons. Cassie escaped as usual, not a scratch. Insurance more than covered the damage, so she wound up with a fixed car, a new speaker, and new speakers. Our mothers had a little talk, but really, all girls go through these things. What are you going to do? Cassie's rescheduled for the next test and got her nails done at a salon. Blue, enchanted blue, while they locked me up and dripped sugar water into my empty veins. Lesson learned. Driving requires fuel. Not Emma's blueberry drizzle drip pop cereal. I shiver, and I almost pour most of the soggy mess down the disposal, then set the bowl on the floor. Emma's cats, Cora and Pluto, pat across the kitchen and stick their heads in the bowl. I draw a cartoon face with a big tongue on a sticky note. Right. Yummy, Emma. Thanks. And slap it on the cereal box. I ate 10 raisins, 16, and 5 almonds, 35, and green-bellied pear, 121, with a total of 172. The bites crawl down my throat. I ate my vitamins, the crazy seeds that keep my brain from exploding, 1 long purple, 1 fat white, 2 poppy red. I wash everybody down with hot water. They better work quick. The voice of a dead girl is waiting for me on my phone. 4. The climb upstairs takes longer than usual. I sleep at the far end of the hall, in the tiny space still decorated like a guest room. White walls, yellow curtains, the sofa bed is never folded up. The desk came from a yard sale. Jennifer keeps offering to buy me new furniture and put up wallpaper. I tell her I haven't figured out what I want yet. I should probably unpack the stacks of dusty boxes first. My phone is waiting on top of a pile of dirty clothes right where it landed when I chucked it at the wall early Sunday morning, because the constant ringing was making me crazy, and I was too tired to turn it off. The last time she called me was 6 months ago, after I got out of the hospital for the second time. I'd been calling her for 4 or 5 times a day, but she wouldn't pick up or call me back, until finally she did. She asked me to listen and told me this wouldn't take long. I was the root of all evil, Cassie said, a negative influence, a toxic shadow. While I was locked up, her parents had dragged her to a doctor and washed her brain and weighed her down with pills and empty words. She needed to move on with her life, redefine her boundaries, she said. I was the reason she cut classes and failed French, and the cause of everything nasty and dangerous. Wrong, wrong, wrong. I was the reason she didn't run away all freshman year. I was the reason she didn't eat a bottle of sleeping pills when her boyfriend cheated on her. I listened for hours when her parents yelled and tried to stuff her into a mannequin shell that didn't fit. I understood what triggered her earthquakes, most of them. I knew how much of it hurt to be the daughter of people who can't see you, and not even if you were standing right in front of them and stomping your feet. But remembering all that was too complicated for Cassie. It was easier for her to dump me one last time. She turned my summer into a desert wasteland. When school started, she looked right through me in the halls, her new friends draped around her neck like Mardi Gras necklaces. She wiped me off her face of existence. But something happened. In the dead time between Saturday night and Sunday morning, she called me. Of course I didn't pick up. She was drunk dialing or prank dialing. I wasn't going to let her sucker me into being her friend again, just so she could turn around and crush me one more time. Body found in a motel room alone. I didn't pick up. I didn't listen to her message yesterday. I was too angry to even look at the phone. She's still waiting for me. I sit down on the mound of unwashed pajama bottoms and sweatshirt and dig out the phone. Open it. Cassie called 33 times, starting at 11:30 Saturday night. Retrieve voicemail. Leah, it's me. Call me. Cassie, second message. Where are you? Call me back. Cassie. Third. I'm not playing, Overbrook. I really need to talk to you. Cassie, 2 days ago, Saturday. Call me. Please, please call me. Look, I'm sorry I was such a bitch. Please. I know you're getting these messages. You can be mad at me later, okay? I really need to talk to you. You were right. It wasn't your fault. There's nobody else to talk to. Oh, God. From 1:20 to 2:55, she hung up 15 times. Next. Please, Leah. Leah, her voice slurring. I'm so sad. I can't get out. Call me. It's a mess. 2 more hang-ups. 3:20. Very slurred. I don't know what to do. 3:27. I miss you. I miss you. I bury the phone at the bottom of the pile and put on a heavier sweatshirt before I head to my car. Winter comes early in New Hampshire. 5. My timing is perfect, and I wind up in a traffic jam. The cars around me are driven by fat cows and bellowing bulls. We roll along 6 miles per hour. I can run faster than this. We brake. They chew their cud and moo into their phones until the herd shifts gears and rolls forward again. 15 miles an hour. I can't run that fast. Somewhere between Martin's Corner and Route 28, I begin to cry. I turn on the radio, sing at the top of my lungs, turn it off again. I beat the steering wheel with my fist until I can see bruises. And while with every mile I cry harder, rain pours down my face. Body found in a motel room alone. What was she doing there? What was she thinking? Did it hurt? There's no point in asking why, even though everybody will. I know why. The harder question is, why not? I can't believe she ran out of answers before I did. I need to run, to fly, beat my wings so hard I can't hear anything over the pounding of my heart. Rain, 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 drowning me. Was it easy? I do not take any more shortcuts. I do not forget to turn the deli on the corner. I do not get lost, not even on purpose. I arrive at school on autopilot, late by their standards, early by mine. The last buses have just pulled up to the front door. I get out and lock the car. The unforgiving November wind blows me towards a building. Pointy snowflakes spiral down from the cake frosting clouds overhead. The first snow, magic. Everybody stops and looks up. The bus exhaust freezes, trapping all the noise in a gritty cloud. The doors to the school freeze too. We tilt back our heads and open wide. The snow drifts into our zombie mouths, crawling with grease and curses and tobacco flakes and cavities and boyfriend-girlfriend juice and stains of lies. For one moment, we are not failed tests and broken condoms and cheating on essays. We are crayons and lunchboxes and swinging so high our sneakers punch holes in the clouds. For one breath, everything feels better. Then it melts. The bus drivers rev their engines and the ice cloud shatters. Everyone shuffles forward. They don't know what just happened. They can't remember. She called me. I walk back to my car, get in, turn on the heat, and wipe my face on my shirt. 7:30. Emma's done with French now and is unpacking her violin. She'll spend too much time rosining her bow and not enough time tuning the strings. The winter concert is coming up in a few weeks, and she doesn't know the songs yet. I should help her with that. Cassie's at the morgue, I guess. Last night she slept there in a silver drawer, eyes getting used to the dark. Jennifer said they were doing an autopsy. Who will cut off her clothes? Will they give her a bath? Strangers touching her skin? Can she watch them? Will she cry? The late bell rings, and the last people in the parking lot sprint for the door. Just a few more. I can't go in until the halls are empty and the teachers have numbed them with boredom so they won't notice when I slip down the halls. I turn around and clear a place in the back seat, shoving all the tests, sweatshirts, and overdue library books to one side so Emma will have a place to sit when I pick her up. Jennifer insists on sticking her in the back. It's safer, she says. There is no safer. There's not even safe. Never has been. Cassie thought heaven was a fairy tale for stupid people. How can you find a place when you don't believe in? You can't. So where does she go now? What if she comes back? Eyes on angry fire. 7:35. Time to go to school and stop thinking. 6. No honors option for me, not this year. I'm contempt, world lit. Social science 12, the Holocaust, physics, trig, again, and lunch. No gym, thanks to a magic note from Dr. Parker. There are asterisks next to my name and footnotes that explain the situation. When I was a real girl, my mother fed me her glass dreams one spoonful at a time. Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Duke, undergrad, med school, internship, residency. God, she'd brush my hair and braid it with long words, weaving the Latin roots and Greek branches into my head so memorizing anatomy would come easy. Mom, Dr. Merrigan, was furious when the guidance counselor kicked me out of honors and dropped me down to college track. The counselor suggested that I plan on going to my father's college because they had to let me in. Free tuition for faculty kids, she reminded us. I was relieved. That night, Dr. Merrigan told me that I was too smart to be a slacker faculty kid. She wanted to have me privately tested and prove that I was brilliant and that the school was not meeting my needs. But then I screwed up again and they slammed me back into the hospital. When I got out, I changed all the rules. I used to fantasize about taking the Mensa test to prove that I wasn't a total loser. Maybe I'd score totally off-the-hook genius. I'd make 100,000 photocopies of the test results and glue them onto the walls of my mother's house, take a bucket of round paint and a thick brush, and I'd write "ha" 1,000,000 times. But there's a pretty good chance I'd flunk it. I really didn't want to know. The buzzer sounds. Students float from room to room. The teachers tie us to our chairs and pour words into our ears. The shades are pulled and the lights are off in the physics lab, so we can watch a movie about the speed of light and the speed of sound and some other garbage that doesn't matter. Ghosts are waiting for Ghosts are waiting in the shadows of the room, patient, dull shimmers. Patient, dull shimmers. The others can see them, too. I know it. We're all afraid to talk about what stares at us from the dark. Waves of physics particles streams through the room. She called me 33 times. A ghost wraps herself around me, strokes my hair, and puts me to sleep. The buzzer sounds. My classmates grab their books and race for the door. I have drooled on the desk. My physics teacher, what is his name? Frowns at me. When he breathes through his open mouth, I can smell the night scum coating his tongue and the sunny side up egg he ate for breakfast. Are you planning on staying here all day? He asks. I shake my head no before he tries to witty again. I grab my books and stand up too fast. The floor tries to pull me down face first, and my night scummy teacher watching, so I make myself strong enough to float away, staring stars swimming in my eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Dead girl walking, the boys say in the halls. Tell us your secret, the girls whisper, one toilet to another. I am that girl. I am the space between my thighs, daylight shining through. I'm the library aide who hides in fantasy. I'm the circus freak encased in beeswax. I am the bones they want, wired on a porcelain frame. When I get close, they step back. The cameras in their eyes record the zit on my chin, the rain in my eyes, and the blue water under my skin. They pick up every sound on their collar microphones. They want to pull me inside of them, but they're afraid. I am contagious. I tiptoe to the nurse's office, hand on the wall to keep me vertical. If I run or breathe too deep, the cheap stitches holding me together will snap, and all the stickiness inside will pour out and burn through the concrete. The nurse ruffles her feathers when I slink in. She turns down the radio, cool jazz, and looks me over, hands on her hips, eyes sad and friendly. I thought you might stay home today, she says. It's got to be shock. Cassie was real close to you, wasn't she? I don't feel good, I say. Can I lie down for a while? You know the rules. She is a crafty witch in nurse's clothing. Okay, I sit on the chair next to her desk and let her take my temperature, my blood pressure. She wraps the cuff around my arm bone. Are you still being weighed regularly? Once a week, I'm fine. I don't need to step on the scale. You don't look fine. She jots down my numbers. If you're going to stay here, you have to get something in your system. If you don't, it's back to class. Do I want to die from the inside out or the outside in? She opens a carton of orange juice and pours it into a paper cup and hands it to me, and she removes the thermometer. I'm serious. I take the cup from her. My throat wants it, my brain wants it, my blood wants it, my hand does not want it. This mouth does not want it. The nurse wants this, and I need to hide. Force it down. The door opens and two guys walk in. One bleeding from his nose, the other looked a little freaked out at the sight of blood. The nurse makes the bleeder sit with his head tilted back and his buddy sit with his head between his knees so he doesn't pass out. I throw the paper cup in the trash can, take the newspaper from her desk, and retreat to the cot at the far end of the room. You'll drink another one in 15 minutes, she says, or you can have a lollipop, grape or lime. Right. I pull the little screen in front of the cot, sit down, and search through the newspaper, local section, page 2. The article runs a couple inches next to an ad for fur coats and 30% off. Police are investigating the death of 19-year-old Cassandra Parrish of the town Amashkeg, New Hampshire, whose body was discovered early Sunday morning in a room of the Gateway Motel on River Road, Centerville. Authorities were called to the scene at 4:43 a.m. by the motel employee who found the body. Preliminary indications suggest Ms. Parrish may have died of natural causes, but police have not yet ruled out foul play or drug use. We're still gathering information, said police spokesperson Sergeant Anna Warren. We'll have to report about the time and cause of death when the coroner finishes the autopsy. Miss Parrish, known to friends as Cassie, was a popular athlete and a member of the theater club at Oshkeg High. Her father, Jerry Parrish, is the principal of Park Street Elementary School, and her mother, Cindy, is an active in school and community affairs. Oshkeg's superintendent of schools, Nelson Bushnell, says the Parrish family's loss was heartbreaking. Cassie was what we all want our children to be. Bright, hard-working, and kind, said Bushnell when asked to comment on reports that Miss Parrish had troubled background. He said, most teens today struggle with something. Cassie had great strides in embracing her healthy life. The last time I talked to her father, he said she was trying to choose between studying psychology or French literature in college. Her death is as tragic as it is shocking. Autopsy results are expected later in the week. Funeral plans were incomplete at press time. I lie down on the cot. paper pillowcase crackling in my ears like radio static. The buzzer sounds. Hall fills with the river of bodies and voices whispering that Cassie was murdered. No, she hung herself. No, she smoked or snorted her way into final exit. She'd try anything once. Did you hear about that time under the bleachers, at the mall, at summer camp? She drove herself into a speeding train, jumped without a parachute, strapped on a weighted belt, and dove into the ocean. She offered herself to the big bad wolf and didn't scream when she took the first bite. Body found in a motel room, alone. The boys are gone. The nurse takes the newspaper away and spreads a thin blanket over me. Can I get another one, I ask? I'm cold. Sure thing. She walks to the supply closet, her shoes squeaking on the polished floor. Have you heard anything about the funeral, I ask? The superintendent's office sent an email, she says. The viewing will be Wednesday night at St. Stephen's. They'll bury her on Saturday. She walks towards me, her arms loaded down. Get some sleep now, and remember, you're drinking more orange juice when you wake up. I promise. She covers me with all of the blankets she has, 5, and the jackets from the lost and found box, because I'm freezing. I drift into the armpits of a stranger, tasting their manic salt and sleep to forget everything.